There could be only one! So I think we're going to start out with the Natalie Portman story.
Was the English bad enough to meet your standards?
It gets there. Like, I think as, like, the guy's writing, he's, like, slowly, like, using just one hand to type, if you know what I mean. And it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Oh, he's just devolving. Oh, devolution is always good.
De-evolution. Caw-caw, caw-caw, tuki-tuki. I think we've established that caw-caw, caw-caw, and tuki-tuki don't work. Evolution, great film. Lando, Bloom.
You are so beautiful to me.
It's one of the things I actually like Sean.
Can't you see? Yeah.
David Duchovny was, and David Duchovny and what's her name?
Julian something.
Yes. And Dan Aykroyd was actually one of Dan Aykroyd's better films, as of late, since he became a UFO believing nut. Let's just put it correctly.
Is that what he is now?
Oh yeah, he's totally into MUFON, which is the Mutual UFO Unidentified Objects Network or something like that. Yeah, I know, I can't. Online. I tweeted that from. I keep tweeting that from the wrong account. No, and why am I tweeting nothing? There we go. Hold on. Damn it. Ugh. Trying to do complex pasting and copying while you're drunk is not a good idea. Okay, we're going to delete this tweet.
Now, when you see in double, aim for the middle, right between them. That's where it is.
My precious antique cans! You done killed them!
Oh, look what you done to him!
Oh, great Simpsons. Say goodbye to Lionel Hutz and say hello to Miguel Sanchez!
Don't touch my stuff! Hey, this isn't the one.
Lionel Hutz, a.k.a. Miguel Sanchez, a.k.a. something or other, was given the... Miguel Sanchez, funny. Okay, so where were we? Okay, I posted the link. Did everybody get the link?
Natalie Portman.
For those who are here?
At least it's not the professional fanfiction. Natalie Portman was too...
Natalie's Perverse Secret. Natalie Portman. This features male-female, female/G, MFG, incest, pedo, shoe, and foot fetish. What is splashing? I don't know.
What?
Okay, I have no clue. That's what it says. Hello everyone. I've finally written about a sexual fantasy of mine that I've had for quite a while on the beautiful and sexy Natalie Portman. I think Natalie Portman is a goddess, and she's the hottest girl ever. This is a fantasy of mine about her in a fictional story where I am dating Natalie Portman, where I get to act out all my fantasies and fetishes with her. Fetishes or fetishy? I don't know, fetishes. The story does include pedophile content, so I must say up front that I do not approve of the practice of involving real children for sexual purposes. It is only fantasy written in form, and should never be practiced in real life. I must also say up front that this story does not in any way reflect the sexual orientation or practice of Ms. Portman or myself. It is just a fantasy for the sake of entertainment, although I must say I do wish like hell that I was dating Natalie Portman. Fucking Natalie Portman! Hello, my name is Adam, and I must say that I am the luckiest guy in the world, for I have as my girlfriend the goddess Natalie Portman, the female star of the Star Wars prequels. Is she really the star of the prequels? The female star? I mean, wouldn't that be Jar Jar Binks? No. We started dating a few months ago, and she is madly in love with me, if you say so. And I must say that years before we started dating, I have had a major crush on Ms. Portman, and have fantasized about many romantic occasions with her, and also sexual ones, where when I masturbate, I would have the most intense orgasms with my thoughts on making love to her. Natalie Portman and I met at the premiere of Star Wars Episode 2 in May of 2002, and I still remember the first time I saw her in person, and the sexy cloths she was wearing. She was the one who broke the ice with me, for I was dumbfounded to even talk to her, like a boy in junior high with a crush on a girl. Okay. She took notice of the fact that I was a big sci-fi fan, judging by my, crap, I can't remember the big creatures that were, my costume was dressed like sand, because sand is, it's coarse and doesn't feel right. And she was never a fan or knows anything about sci-fi, and wanted to get to know me more to see what the world was like for a diehard sci-fi fan like myself. After the premiere, we went out to get a coffee, and we really hit it off. Our casual relationship soon turned into a dating relationship, and within the next few months, we were in a serious relationship. Our dates went from getting coffee or McDonald's to going to fancy romantic restaurants. Because of the kind of dates we were going on, I knew she was turning into my girlfriend. The physical aspects of the relationship were slow. I was anxious because, if you can believe this, I am still practically a virgin and quick and ready to have sex. Yeah, right. Natalie Portman is a virgin too. Only I did not know it at that time. For with me, it is because I do not do so well with the ladies, and with her is so busy with her acting career. But, in spite of her being a virgin, she was in no way too fast to have sex, for she pushed my advances on a number of occasions. But our relationship was not static, for she did warm up to me in time. Within the first month of dating, she would let me hold her hands. It was not... She was a freaking harlot, isn't she? It was not until the second month that we kissed for the first time. By the third month, we were French kissing. Ooh, scandalous. And by the fourth, we were making out on a regular basis. By the fifth month, she was ready to have sex with me for the first time. Okay, so wait. She's so, slow that, the fourth month they're making out, and by the fifth month it's sex. Okay, whatever. I remember the first time I had sex with Natalie Portman. We were both dressed in semi-formal wear for a date. We're in, freaking... I don't know. I had on casual pants and a dress sweater with a sports jacket, and Natalie had on a very sexy red party dress with black silk stockings and a pair of very sexy 4-inch heels. When we came home that evening, we made out on the sofa as we kissed, and French kissed, passionately, that Natalie finally made the move on me. In the midst of our makeout session, she grabbed my hands and put them onto her breast. I felt up her breast through the fabric of her dress. Then, on impulse, she sat me back, and then with her unzipped my pants. I was so caught up in the moment that I felt completely mesmerized. I did not resist her in the slightest. Yeah, I never resist. I masturbated several times and had great orgasm, but it never felt the same way she was jerking me off. Well, her hand job did not last, for she knelt down and put my cock in her mouth. I felt like I was in heaven, for here my favorite girl in the whole world was giving me my very first blowjob, and he's practically a virgin. Yeah, right. I felt sensations like I never did before, as I saw Natalie's head bop up and down on my raging hard cock, feeling the intense sucking as she strived to take the whole length of my cock down her throat. Yeah, really intense sucking, After several thrilling minutes of her giving me a blowjob, and I could not take it anymore, she grabbed the back of her hair gently to give her a signal to let her know. Is that a run-on sentence? I was about to come. She continued to suck hard on my cock, expressing she wanted to swallow. Then I exploded into orgasm and shot what felt like gallons of white sticky cum into the back of her mouth, and she pulled her mouth off my cock and swallowed my love juice. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, basically, okay. Over the next several weeks and months, Natalie and I fucked like rabbits. We fucked at least once a day, and she gave me blowjobs, and I ate out her pussy. When we actually fucked one another, we did it in the missionary position, but also in other positions as well. We tried doggy style, her on top of me on top of her, us lying beside one another, me on a chair with her on top, me standing up and holding her while I fuck her, and even cowboy style. Yes, even cowboy style. Yes, I fucked Natalie in every position we could think of, and we did it all the time. We did it every evening, and even a lot of morning we would do quickies when we would get ready for work, as I would pull my cock out of my zipper. Who the hell wakes up with a zipper? I don't know. And she would hick up her skirt or dress, and we would fuck really quick before we left for work. When we left for work after we fucked, it was hard separating us for our deep and passionate kisses. After several months of hot, passionate sex, and even though it never got boring, we decided to try other sexual things to spice up our love life. By do this, we agreed to reveal to one another each of our secret fantasies and fetishes and fulfill them in one another. I agreed with her that after she made known a secret fantasy of hers to me, and I fulfill it, then I could do the same to her. Natalie's first fantasy she revealed to me is that she can come sometimes just by manipulating her breast. Which one, left or right? I don't know. So her fetish is that she fantasizes of a person nursing on her breast and sucking milk out of her breast as she gets off on it and comes from it. So she took off her shirt and she was not wearing a bra underneath it. Her breasts are small, and I know that some guys are into big breasts, but I am not. Natalie's breasts are perfect, for they are very perky, and her nipples stick right out. She then sat on the couch, and I lay down next to her and put my head over her lap. She then grabbed my head and pulled it to her right breast, and I opened my mouth to receive her perky nipple. It's fresh perked to my mouth. I began to suck on her nipple as if I were a babby breastfeeding. I could tell she was getting horny and excited because her breathing got heavier and heavier, and then she began to moan louder and louder. Soon I was able to extract milk from her breast, and I began to drink her milk. Just then she was able to bring herself to orgasm. How was she able to bring herself to... And she came. After I finished breastfeeding from her right tit, I pulled my mouth off her tit, and I noticed a wet spot on the crotch of her jeans, where she had come. Then Natalie asked me what my fantasy of mine that I wanted fulfilled by her. I held my breath with nervousness, and then revealed to her my shiny patent leather Mary Jane shoe fetish. There we go. That I never told anyone about until her. I told her that I have a major fetish for girls' shiny dress patent leather Mary Jane shoes, and that I must have a thing for schoolgirls and the schoolgirl look along with shiny schoolgirl shoes. Gee, I wonder if you like shoes that are shiny. There's nothing I love more than to see a girl wearing shiny dress shoes, for I think that the shininess of the leather of girls' dress shoes makes me go sexually crazy. Well, Natalie held her end of the bargain, and the next day she went shopping. When she came home, she revealed to me she had bought a schoolgirl uniform that included a white silk blouse and a plaid skirt, white nylon tights, and the best thing of all, she brought the sexiest pair of shiny and glossy black patent leather Mary Jane 3-inch pumps with buckle and strap. When I saw the cloths and shoes she bought, I went immediate with crazy sexual lust. She wasted no time going to her room and getting dressed up in the schoolgirl uniform that she bought along with the white nylon tights and the patent leather Mary Jane pumps. When she came out of her room wearing the schoolgirl uniform, along with seeing her hair made up into little girl pigtails and seeing her shiny black shoes glisten, made me get an immediate solid rock hard on. It's a good one. Natalie went over to the couch and sat down on it. She called me over to her, then had me kneel down to her feet. She lifted up her right foot until the shiny patent leather pump was right in front of her face. She commanded me to worship her shoe, to which I was glad to. I stuck out my tongue and began to lick all over the shiny... shiny... First starting from the toe, then all around the shoe, then over the heels, and finally even licked over the shiny strap that held the shoe onto her foot. After I was finished with her right shoe, I did the same exact thing to her left shoe. I just loved the sensation of my tongue running all up over that slick leather. And by this time my cock was throbbing for a release, and Natalie knew it. She then reached down and unzipped my pants, and then she pulled out my cock. My cock was so hard that it stuck straight up in the air. Then Natalie lifted her feet to my cock and began to rub her shiny patent leather Mary Janes all over my raging hard-on. She had her feet in such a way that both shoes were rubbing against my cock hard rock. my rock-hard cock at the same time. The shininess and glossiness of her patent leather Mary Janes made the shoes slippery, and they easily slid up and down the shaft and head of my cock. This gave my cock just as good of a stimulation as it would be in Natalie's mouth or cunt hole. It took no time for me to come, and when I exploded into orgasm, it felt like a waterfall. Like, don't go chasing waterfalls, please stick to the... And it looked to be about gallons of white-hot sticky sperm ejaculated out of my cock and shooting onto her new shiny patent leather Mary Janes. Soon her new glossy Mary Jane pumps were completely soaked and drenched in my sticky white juices. Natalie then reached down to her feet and unbuckled her shoes, and she took them off and pulled them up to her face so she could lick all the white cum off her shoes. While she was licking all my white sperm, do you think it's white? I quickly grabbed her feet that still had on white nylon tights and pout them up to my face and began to smell her sticky feet. When she saw this, she responded, "I see you have more than a patent leather Mary Jane shoe fetish, for you seem to be getting yourself sexually off by smelling my stinky feet." Yes, I think you are right. I not only have a fetish for girls who wear shiny patent leather Mary Jane shoes along with a schoolgirl uniform, I get obsessed with girls' feet. Always wondering what they smell like. But doesn't the stinky smell of my feet turn you off? It should, and on anyone else it would. But you, Natalie Portman, your feet could stink to high heaven and I would still be turned on because you're Natalie Portman. Yes, the smell of your stinky feet, Natalie Portman, turned me on. Okay, then smell away and get yourself off as you please. And that is exactly what I did. I cleaned off sperm, shoe, hard cock, blah, blah, blah. It was then Natalie's turn to share another one of her fantasies with me, and for me to fulfill it. And when I asked her what it was, she replied, "Not only have I wanted to experience a guy fucking me in my cunt, I have always fantasized what it would be like for a guy to take me from behind and penetrate me in my asshole." So you are interested in anal sex? Yes, I definitely am. I want you to fuck me in the ass. I want you to lick my anus and then ram your cock into my rectum and damn near kill him. Oh wow, a girl who's into anal sex. That is my fantasy as well. Isn't that just the luckiest thing in the world? I am also obsessed with a girl's assholes and have fantasized about doing a girl in her ass. So I see that not only do you have a fetish for a girl's shiny patent leather shoes and her stinky feet, but you also have a fetish for their stinky assholes? You got that right. Okay, then let's stop talking and cornhole me. You know, how many times has that happened to you? A girl just asked you to cornhole. After that, I ran upstairs. Why the hell did you run upstairs? I don't know. And got some jelly lubricant so my penis would be able to penetrate her in her anus without ripping her apart and hurting her. Do you really fear about that? I mean, ripping her apart? Whatever. When I came downstairs, she was in the middle of taking off her jeans and her black thong. I began to take off my jeans and boxer shorts. Then we were both bare-ass naked from the waist down. We still had on our shirts, though, because, you know, that's the Christian thing to do. When we both saw each other naked again, we admired each other's bodies. She never got tired of looking at my rather good-sized cock, and I never tired of looking at her neatly trimmed peach fuzz pussy. I told her I need to get my cock lubricated and her asshole lubricated before I penetrate her there. She had us get into a 69 where I was on top and she was on the bottom. She immediately started to give me a blowjob so she can get my cock all wet from her saliva. While at the same time, I lifted up her legs into the air and spread them out eagle-wide.
Eagle-wide?
I saw her ass cheeks, and they were the cutest and sexiest a girl's ass could be. Her ass was really well shaped, and it was smooth as a baby's, but I pulled her extremely cute and smooth ass cheeks apart, only to notice the cutest tight pink puckered asshole a guy could imagine. I can imagine the pretty tight pinkered puckered pink whatever. Through porn pictures and movies, I saw a lot of girls' asshole, but none as sexy and cute as Natalie Portman's. I then stick my tongue out and began to lick her tight anus. I could tell this was giving her pleasure because she started to moan and her legs began to contract. I don't know. It was a beautiful sight as she continued to suck on my cock, getting it really slippery and wet from her saliva, and me getting her anus slipper, and wet from me tongue rimming her. While rimming her asshole, I could smell the stink from her anus. But again, instead of it turning me off, it got me all the more hornier, and I began to lash my tongue harder and faster over and around her anus. I could not penetrate her in her rectum with my tongue yet, because in spite of me trying to loosen her up with my tongue rimming her asshole, she was still tight. So I reached over and grabbed the jelly lubricant that I got from upstairs, then applied some to my finger, then spread it across and around all over her anus. Then I used my finger to massage the lubricant into asshole. Again, she was getting a lot of pleasure from this by her moans and contracting her legs that were spread up and out. When I thought that her anus was loose enough for me to penetrate it a little, I stuck my finger in her rectum. This sent shudders of pleasure into Natalie, for she bucked a little, feeling something penetrate her asshole for the first time. While my finger was up her rectum, and I moved it around a lot so I could loosen up her sphincter so my cock would be able to penetrate her a little more easily. This asshole fuck, rock hard, experience of our lives, utter pleasure, my cock going in and out, blah blah blah, the little kid writing portion.
What?
Well, Natalie,
Wait,
did you enjoy that? Oh yes, I definitely did. I love getting fucked up my asshole just as much, if not more, than getting fucked up by my pussy. How about you? Do you like the smell and taste of my asshole? And did you like having your cock buried deep in my anus? How do you compare it with normal intercourse with your cock in my cunt hole? Like a survey? Oh, I loved it. I loved it just as much, if not more, than having my cock in your cunt hole. I definitely love the freaking like a survey. I definitely love the stinky smell of your asshole and the taste of your anus. I especially love just the way your sphincter squeezed down on my cock, so when I came, it made it all the more intense. Thanks, Natalie, for being my girlfriend and giving me the great sexual pleasure. No problem.
Oh, man.
The pleasure is all mine. I love having you as my boyfriend and experimenting with all the sexual acts. I want to continue.
Thank you for
Natalie
being my
a turn to
girlfriend.
reveal another sexual fantasy for me to fulfill it. She then said she wanted to take things up a notch and try bathroom games. Uh-oh. She wanted to strip completely... Weren't they already stripped completely naked? Get into the bathtub and have me urinate on her. So I said I would do it. We took of the shirts off that we were still wearing, which then we were completely naked from head to toe, since we were naked from our waist down. Wow. I still love looking at Natalie's small perky with the nipple sticking straight out. For that started to get me hard again. Natalie led me up to the bathroom, then she laid me down in the tub. She asked me if I need to go pee, and when I said to her that I do not need to go now, she told me to turn on the water in the sink and stare at it. I did so as she requested, and after a few minutes of watching the running water, I had to go, and I had to go bad. Then she told me to come over to her in the bathtub and point my cock at her and pee on her. I did as she requested, and pee started to flood out of me like it was Niagara Falls. I pissed yellow pee all over her body while she was masturbating herself by rubbing her clit. I aimed my cock at her tits and pussy directly and pissed yellow pee all over her perky tits and pussy while she continued to masturbate herself. As opposed to... yes, yellow. Before I could finish off
red.
my pee, she
worried.
grabbed my cock while I was still peeing like a racehorse. I thought it was Niagara Falls. And she aimed my cock directly at her open mouth. There we go. She gets into an orgasm because he peed on her. Okay, after she came down from her explosive orgasm and I recovered from my long, massive piss, Natalie got out of the bathtub and asked me what I would like to do next, since it was my turn to reveal another fantasy of mine. So I told her that I wanted to continue our bathroom games, but push the envelope further. I said to her that I have fantasies where girls would shit on me and I would play in their shit. She found it no surprise, since I do love girls' stinky feet and their stinky assholes. So she beat me to the question of asking her for the request for her to take a shit on me. So she agreed, but she said that that she did not need to poop at this time. So she went over to the medicine cabinet and got out some laxative, and she ate it, and said it would take a few minutes to kick it. Okay, you know what? Okay, Natalie empties her bowels, she farts.
Yeah, this guy is getting way out there.
Yeah.
It didn't just evolve in a literary way.
Okay, but you know what? Hold on. I'll be right back. We get Thora Birch into the next scene.
Like, no, I was getting so much momentum. So, David Blaine, what's with the makeup?
I
Would you like to
practice.
see? Would you like to see some magic?
I have the biggest part in the play. I'm a villager with no lines. I fuck around with makeup to make myself feel important.
Clown fetishes would dig it.
Clown fetishes?
Oh, yeah.
What is wrong, Natalie? You know, whatever nasty fantasy you have, I will understand and try to fulfill it. I do not know, Adam. You might not go for this one, for it is social taboo as well. I have to at least tell you up front that I think I am bisexual, and also have fantasies of girls. Well, no problem. There is nothing socially wrong about being bi. Oh, you know, it's good to know that it gets better as it's gotten to sex stories. For I must admit that I have had fantasies of you with other girls like your co-star Ashley Judd, whom you played along with in the movie where the part is. After I have seen that movie, I have fantasized you and Ashley doing nasty lesbian sex together. Why does that have to be nasty lesbian sex? What's wrong with beautiful lesbian sex? I don't know. Also, when I saw your movie where that you starred in called Anywhere From Here, and saw that Thora Birch had a cameo, I fantasized you two doing it together. And when I saw Star Wars Episode 2, the chick who played young Beru, who's Beru? Wait, who's Beru?
What?
Who's Beru? I have no clue. I fantasized about you two and doing nasty lesbian... Why is everything... Why is lesbian sex to be nasty? Wow, I never knew you had those kind of lesbian fantasies of me before. But I guess it come as no surprise, since guys must get off on lesbians. Oh well, I might as well tell you, in addition to have lesbian fantasies, I also have pedophile fantasies. What? Yes, it is true, but it is specified. I do not like little boys, but only little girls. Okay, lesbian pedophile Okay, you know what? No. I'm not doing lesbian pedophile fantasies. Alright, let's go to something else here. I hope you all aren't upset about that, but... I'm not going to No, look, it turns into lesbian sex fantasy, and I don't want to get kicked off Tiny Chat.
You totally skipped over the tub girl part. It was glorious.
Tub girl. Oh, I'm sorry about that. PBR.
It's like a tapioca fountain.
No, I will not do necropedo. Okay, this next one I'm gonna need a little help from. I'm gonna need a little help from Kaiser here. But no, I'm not doing Goatsy. Okay, our next story is called Meatwad's Fan Fiction. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's a television show on Adult Swim called Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which takes place in South Jersey. Other characters, there's Frylock, Master Shake, and Meatwad. So, this is a story just about Meatwad. So, so here's my...
You know, I kind of wish that this guy wrote it in this... So I wish this guy wrote it in such a way so that it's easier to follow where to start. Because, like, he just tosses the quotes in there.
Well, it's... Anything in quotes is pretty much Meatwad. I mean, it's not Meatwad, so...
Okay. Well, is it all is Master Shake in here?
I don't believe so. I think it's just Carl and... Oh, no, Boxy and Frylock. So...
Oh, well, those two I can do.
Okay, so you ready, Kaiser? Let me make sure I got my mics. And now we'll hear me. Somebody hear me. Tell you what,
I should read the story.
Hell yeah! I finally got me on some time on Frylock's computer. That's right, bitch. Now I get to write whatever the hell I want. I'm the goddamn king of the computer. You better believe it, bitch. Damn ass bitch.
Meatwad, betting me I'll be writing swear words on my computer.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, Frylock. Damn, Frylock's so uptight. You know, never gonna have fun around here. Anyway, our story begins in Japan. At least I think it's Japan. I tried calling it once, but they kept on saying stuff about Ohio or something. I could have swore I called Japan. Whatever. This boy, who lived in Japan, was outside his house breaking blocks. I gotta learn me how to break stuff like that. I'm sick of Master Shake hitting me with that back scratcher. I want to hit him back and make a break. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Well, he was outside doing stuff, and some girl came out. She ain't his wife yet, like the one I've got. Wait a minute. My wife left me. I guess he got it better than me. And she came out with this pot of stuff, and she liked to call food. Of course, it was just plain crap till the wood. And she tried to get him to eat it. Like when Frohawk tried to give me them damn green things. Hell no, he so said. And damn right, if I were him, I'd be like good old MCP pants and tell her I don't want no elephant green crap. I want me some fucking candy. And I want fucking candy. You better get in there fucking gear. Bring me some owl hootin' candy. And if you bring me any more of this crap, I'll let it in your motherfucking ass with a letter opener. How hypocrite can it be? Can motherfucking DY? I guess that price better for living with this fucking moron.
Meatwad, knock it off.
Oh, okay, right. Jeez, they're never this nice to me. Well, back to the story. That girl don't like that she wouldn't eat her stuff, and she threw the whole pot at him. He jumped out of the well and made a face at her, but she threw a big hammer at him, and he fell into the pond and got all wet. Damn, that boy got to change into a girl. And he got red hair because he's a ginger. They ain't got no souls. Tell you what, goddamn gingers ain't got no souls. I wonder if he read Vogue, like Frylock do, because when a boy read Vogue, he become a girl. Damn, I'm funny. So that boy got mad at the girl, and they started fighting, and he kept calling her names and stuff, and she kept on throwing more of that green crap at him. And every now and then, he got hit with the stuff. That boy sure is dumb. He got dumb family, and he'd live in a dumb town, but hell, I'm dumb too. I don't know where the heck my doo-doo come out. You know, where my doo-doo come out of? And when it comes out, I just eat it. Anyway, that's when all the other people showed up. I think they're his friends, or maybe they're not. Hell, they got more friends than I do. And all I got are a green apple, paper towel roll, and some dumb box with an afro. My friends suck.
Well, boy, you're gonna diss me to my face.
Boxer, please, don't take it like that.
Well, how do you want me to take it? Oh, boy, you done insulting me. You can't even write. Your story just plain dumb, boy.
I'm trying my best. How are you supposed to write better? You're a box.
I can write way better than that, boy. Listen here. This boy from Japan, see? And when he hit cold water, turns one foxy chick. He is she. And she gonna make a nice night on the town. Oh, yeah.
Okay, Box. I think that's enough. Listen, I'm trying to write something. Everybody's getting in my way. The boy's friends, they showed up, and they all mad at him because of some reason or another. And they bit the crap out of him. I mean, a lot. They really knocked him dead. And one final kick sends him flying into the sky past airplanes and all that, and he says to himself, my life sucks. Shut up, boy. At least you got a brand that works. And we don't have to eat sand every day. Uh-oh.
Oh, wait, my lobster caviar. Did you do it, you little freak? Get over here.
Okay, me and my wife gotta get out of here. So Ran Man walked up to the road back to the dojo nursing his several injuries. Jerks, I didn't do anything. Why'd they all have to gang up on me like that? As I passed the dump, he looked over and noticed something. Huh? Laying on an open box next to the dumpster was an enormous fresh sandwich, stocked with everything Ranma liked. Meats, cheese, vegetables, and condiments of all kinds. And for some reason the bread was red, and had double horns and tail. And of course he didn't care to notice that. Sweet, free sandwich. Things are finally going my way. He picked it up, and he sensed an annoying presence coming in, and he just decided that he was going to take down his pants, and he was going to, like, stick his penis into it. And he fucked that sandwich left and right, and he was just fucking, and then he stepped out of the way just in time to watch Gemma slip by, missed the sandwich, and fall crashing into the dumpster, the door slamming him over. Forget it, Oja. This is my sandwich. You can't fuck it. And with that, ignoring the sudden buildup of clouds and lightning strikes, the word death appearing on the walls around him, the insane laugh that had suddenly resonated, and with all notes of impending doom, he brought it down to his face, and he licked it, licked it, licked it. And he took a bite. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. Once again, sorry for taking a while to get around to it. Give me more reviews. Oh wait, that's the actual writer writing.
Boy, what the hell kind of whack ass story was that, boy? What are you smiling at? What's so funny about? I don't see what's funny about someone. See something funny about someone fucking a sandwich? Cured meat, sexy boy.
Okay, hold on.
He done driven away Lord Data.
Okay, no, that was the... I read the Aqua Teen, not the Aqua Teen. Teen Turbo Force.
What? Oh God, is that the rape car?
The rape car combined with Melissa Joan Hart from
Melissa Joan Hart.
Teenage Witch. Yeah, it was Sabrina Teenage Witch.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay. Oh, damn it. Oh crap. Drop something.
You missed what turned into a very weird a thing with Natalie Portman.
Yeah, the Natalie Portman was pretty good. Could have been better.
Yeah.
I thought very much. I do a pretty good move while I tell you what, you know. Of course you gotta use fire, otherwise the match is gonna... Of course you gotta use gasoline, otherwise the match is gonna catch the car. Hold on, I keep getting into the wrong screen.
Importantly, he boxed it brown. Oh, yeah.
Brown. Yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
That guy sure was into those Mary Jane pumps.
Yeah, he was like the shiny Mary Jane pumps. Okay, I think is this God versus Jesus? Or God and Jesus? One day in heaven, God was feeling very horny. He was too tired to masturbate, though. Thought God.
Oh.
What a predicament. Then it struck him. He was all powerful. He didn't have to manually get himself off. He could make a sex slave. So God went down to earth and tried to find a good woman to bear an offspring. So he went to a stable. Okay? Suddenly, Mary was there. Her husband Joseph had left. Perfect, thought God. A young, defenseless virgin girl. She will make a good childbearer. Then God went down and raped Mary. If you tell anyone, I'll fucking kill you, God muttered to her. Mary nodded, terrified.
Wait a minute.
9 months later, a baby Jesus was born. God came down to claim him. My son, said God, you will grow up for great things. You are indeed very sexy. Perfect. Then God killed Mary because she was a dirty whore.
What?
God
Wait a minute.
God couldn't have sex with baby Jesus, so he left him on earth until he was grown up. 20 years later, Jesus had grown up. He had done many good things in the world, like killing the Romans and leading the Jews through the Red Sea. This was Moses.
What?
God found this a turn-on. Because, you know, saving the Jews is a turn-on. God came down for Jesus one day whilst Jesus was being baptized. John the Baptizer had left to go buy some beer, and Jesus was left alone naked in the pool. He had a six-pack, some chest hair, and a manly stubble. God crept up silently behind him naked. Jesus, said God.
Wait a
Jesus
minute.
Jumped, but didn't turn around. Who is this?
Wait,
he asked tentatively.
Where are you seeing this?
What?
Well, where the hell is this written?
Didn't I
or
type
should
this?
I say, like, where is it, like... I missed it. Fan fiction? What is this person a fan of to make fiction out of it?
I have no clue. It's the romance supernatural between Jesus and Yeshua and John the Baptist. It's according to the... Yo, Daddy.
What?
God reached down underneath the water to feel Jesus' ass. It was firm and smooth. Then he reached round the front and stroked his huge cock. Jesus was a bit scared, but also a bit turned on. He turned around to face God. God stood there proudly with his 12-inch... Okay, God just has a 12-inch penis? It's freaking God! Waving in the wind. Hello, son, he said sexily. Jesus was scared and tried to disguise his erection. What do you want? He whispered. I want you to suck me, God said in a low... I want you to suck me, God said in a low voice. Jesus obeyed. He closed his mouth around the throbbing shaft and deep-throated God. Yes, more, God cried. Suck me harder, bitch. Harder. Jesus continued sucking him.
This seems more like something that... This seems like more like something that the Greek gods would do.
Jesus continued sucking him off until God couldn't take anymore.
No,
He was shuddering in ecstasy, his face sweaty. More! More!
Wait,
Suddenly,
this
God
is totally...
ejaculated into Jesus' mouth. Jesus swallowed all of his cum, savoring every last drop. He sucked until God's cock was completely dry. Wow, that sure beats fapping, God breathed heavily. Are we done yet? Jesus asked, secretly hoping that there was more to come. Of course. We're not finished yet. We're not finished yet, God roared powerfully. There was a desk nearby. What's a desk nearby? God forcefully grabbed Jesus and slammed him onto the desk in doggy position. God thrust his erect penis into Jesus' asshole, and Jesus screamed in pain. Take it like a man, son. God yelled as he pounded Jesus' sorry ass again and again. Jesus moaned in pain, his eyes filling with tears. God thrust faster, and faster, harder and harder, breathing rapidly. Jesus panted and groaned with pleasure and pain. I've never took it in the ass before, Jesus panted, lost for breath. God was grunting louder as he began to near his climax. Jesus was also grunting in exquisite agony. God became so excited he couldn't hold it any longer. He pulled out and sprayed his load all over Jesus' ass. Jesus came at the same time. He let out a scream of unbearable pleasure. After the cum swirled and mixed around in the water... Where's the water? I don't know. Wait. I thought they were in a desk. Where's the water from?
You know what? I'm disappointed that there's no focus on the destruction of the Romans. I want to see more.
I know. Jesus flopped down into a chair, exhausted and relieved. God stood up, panting. Suddenly, God noticed someone standing by some trees. John had returned from the shops to finish baptizing Jesus. I'm sorry, John apologized. I didn't want to interrupt. God noticed that John had an erection. He got an idea. Not to worry, John, God said. Are you up for a threesome? To be continued in Chapter 2. Before John could give an answer, God grabbed John's bulging hard-on through his toga. Okay. Ouch, said John, his erection getting larger. My, Jesus exclaimed, your penis is getting huge. God grinned as he magicked... God's magic... John's cock...
Magicked?
This is what I like to call... a miracle. God grinned and licked his lips seductively. Jesus was really horny from being fucked by God. And who isn't really? And wanted to give, but was too afraid to ask. But God knew what Jesus was thinking and waved his ass out at him. Jesus proceeded to fuck God's ass, relishing the opportunity. Oh yeah, that's it, son, God grunted. Then he grabbed John, who was now naked, and began sucking his throbbing, and now, thanks to God, 2-foot shaft. Okay, wait. John the Baptist shaft is now twice as big as God's shaft. John began writhing in pleasure, and God moaned from the feeling of Jesus pounding his ass and the pleasure of sucking off John's massive cock. Just when John was about to come, God stopped the blowjob. John looked disappointed, but God made him turn around. The Baptist braced himself for what he knew was coming. God began fucking him gently. You don't always have to fuck him hard. And God, fucking him gently, and God harder and harder until he was in sync with Jesus, who was still sexing John. Oh God, John moaned ecstatically. Say it again. God groaned. Oh God! John the Baptist came and inserted God shortly and Jesus. Seriously, you never hold her tenacious D? Fuck her gently. Fuck her.
And then I'm gonna fuck you hard.
Oh, they don't tell me they don't have the video. Is that the video? No, there's... Oh, crap. Damn it. Hit delete. Backspace. No, backspace.
Not gonna cook it, but I'll order it from Zanzibar's.
Here it is, here it is. Is it? Yeah. I think they probably banned it because it has like a naked... God damn. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Hold on. Select. No. Go back. This is a story. The ladies.
Yeah.
The fellas. Listen closely. Okay, honestly, hearing the... Ladies. Oh, wait, why'd the video stop playing? Damn you! Oh, of course the video's gonna want to play. Okay, opens up a new window. Why the hell does it open up a new window?
I thought one was just the audio.
Ladies. Fellas. Oh, god damn it. My French. Sometimes you got to say hey. Softly, I wanna screw you gently. I'm gonna hump you discreetly. I'm gonna ball you discreetly. Yeah. And then you say, hey, I bought you flowers. And then you say, hey, 2 minutes, Sally. I think I got something in my teeth. Can you take it out for me? That's fucking teamwork! What's your favorite position? That's cool with me. It's not my favorite, but I'll do it for you. What's your favorite dish? I'm not gonna make it, but I'll order it from Zanzibar. And then I'm gonna fuck you completely. And then I'll fucking fuck you discreetly. And then I'll fucking fuck you completely. But then I'm gonna fuck you hard.
Oh, good old Oglass.
Yeah, I can also do that note. What is that note from, what's that note from South Park? Loving you is so hard 'cause you're beautiful. Do do do. Oh yes. Puberty.
I saw that, like when Homer's voice changed.
Woohoo!
When Christ was born.
Woo! Look at that flubber fly. Did we read the Doug story yet, or no?
No.
I don't think so.
Hold on. This is... Got these free at the flea market, would you believe that? Okay, trying to navigate between windows while you're a little drunk is a little tough. You know what? I'll be right back.
Not that tough. I have been inhaling vodka the past hour. So... You guys remember that Dark Knight Blu-ray thing when Christopher Nolan was actually online answering questions? Yeah, and he was like, and he had to get up to pee like 3 times. He said this is a 3P movie.
Huh? Who and where?
No, Christopher Nolan, when he was doing the Dark Knight live chat thing on the Blu-rays, that Blu-ray commentary thing. And it was 2. Like he had to get up to use the bathroom like twice, and he was saying that this is a 2P movie.
Batman doesn't pee.
He did?
Batman didn't pee. Except for that time I said my charge is too much and I kind of crapped my pants. Wasn't there like some big controversy over Batman admitting that he crapped his pants when he said an explosive? Because of Kevin Smith. Damn it!
I have extra absorbent pads in the codpiece.
Okay, I'm actually using suture scissors to crack open a beer because I can't find my 3-month sobriety coin.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Wish my dental plan, it wouldn't ever jump in here.
Yoink!
No, that was the diamond in Lenny's tooth.
These and these braces. Dental plan. Doug got abducted.
Dental plan.
Doug got abducted. The aliens made terrible experiments with him, torturing that poor young soul that had no big expectations in his life. Wait, did Doug have the dog, or was that, Rocco? Who had the dog?
I'm pretty sure they both had dogs.
They both had dogs?
Pretty sure. After...
Spunky? No, who had... Okay, I don't know.
Rocco wasn't a dingo. Rocco was a wallaby.
Wannabe? No. Because there was a wannabe. Wannabe? A wannabe? I know what I wanna be. Okay, Doug got abducted. The aliens made terrible experiments with him, torturing that poor young soul that had no baby. The aliens were cruel and vicious, not forgiving even a defenseless idiot like Doug. He just wanted to go home and find Patty, to look at her and feel the passion. But that was a distant dream for the boy now tied to a cold and shrewd bed-like platform. Probes got inserted in all his orifices, collecting data to the evil plans of those unnatural invaders. As Doug got examinated, drills started to perforate his frail skin. He was lucky because the alien technology advanced to a level where no blood could be spilled from the body by the surgery equipment. However, they didn't know anesthesia, so Doug's nerves were throbbing and trying to move out of his flesh to escape the torment and lancing pain inflicted at them. Doug's eyeballs were red, the veins got expanded, and his nails got black. He was feeling the death approaching, the death grasping his hand to take him away from that sorrowness. The hand of death was cold and bland, was very sad and dark, and then... Wake up, Doug. What? It was a dream? That's best Doug impersonation, said Doug, opening his eyes, trying to make sense of all that. He looked around. He was in his bedroom. He looked his skin. It was normal. No cuts, no holes, nothing. He felt relieved. Doug, you get late to school. I'm going, Mom. Doug went down the stairs, racing against time not to lose the bus. He just snatched a piece of cake. The cake's lie. And gulped the soda. Goodbye, parents. Goodbye, son. Doug run fast and got the bus on time. He couldn't keep that nightmare out of his mind. It was so real, so truthful. He never had such horrendous dream before. He had tell that to Skeeter. The bus arrived at the school, and the first person Doug saw was Patty Mayonnaise. She was beautiful as always, wore a very mini skirt. Doug got out of the bus, and he looked at her. Her legs were shining. She probably rubbed a skin cream to make her flesh so appetizing. And her chest, it was bigger than normal. Could be the bra? Doug was getting very excited because he was entering the puberty. His member turned from flaccid to hard, and his eyes were fixed on Patty's body. Never before she was so tasty. Doug then felt his member moving, muscle moving, and throbbing. Could it be? He can latch the juice in his pants? As would be a shame, everyone will laugh at him. And then, when it was going to get out to wet his underwear, something different went out. A big flash of laser got ejaculated from his member. It was hot and burned a hole in his pants. He was not understanding all of that. He felt uncontrolled and trying to stop it, but it was useless. The death laser ray got straight to Patty's eyes, penetrating her brain and exploding it in 1,000 of pieces. Blood flew all over the school, burning the student's skin because the blood was boiling with the high temperature. Skeeter was there, and his hand got hit by a glob of the mortal blood. It instantly dissolved, exposing his bad bones that were quickly eaten by passing starving pit bulls. Where did the pit bulls come in? They attacked Skeeter without mercy, opening his chest and devouring his innards. The frickin' pit bull. Doug was looking completely shocked at the laceration of his best friend. The mayhem continued because Doug's ass expelled hundreds of tentacles filled with sharp razor blade. What? There were a lot of them, moving frantically, pickling the unlucky students running around. One of them was Chalky Studebaker. What the hell was Chalky Studebaker? The tentacle lifted him in the air. The other two, started to rub his body violently, cutting and tucking his skin. The bleeding was insane. He was losing the blood very fast because the tentacles were inexperienced. One of them entered Chalky's ass and started to move in and out, crushing his bowels. A puddle of shit got ejected from Chalky's anus because he lost bowels control. Chalky's eyes rolled up in anguish. God, he said, kill me, please. But God couldn't hear him, for he was fucking Jesus and John the Baptist. He was alone, and no one would help him in his last hours of life. Two tentacles then turned to his faces. They marked his eyes very fastly, entered his skull through the eye socket, exploding them in all directions. You won't need eyes for where going, said Sam Neill from the Starship Whole Horizon.
Event Horizon.
Event Horizon, there we go. Chalky's pain was so strong he started to convulse, but the tentacles would not kill him, not yet. They started to rub and thrust Chalky's brain, causing strokes. They found him his center of control, and they had total control over Chalky's semi-dead body. All of his movements were under control of the tentacles, but Chalky's was still conscious, but nothing could be done. The tentacles controlled Chalky's body. Who the hell is Chalky? And he moved to BB Bloof. She was completely frightened on the ground in fetal position. She saw the state in which Chalky had been submitted and put her hands on her mouth. She screamed so much her vocal cords collapsed. She got mute. Chalky's body grabbed her arms and ripped them of BB's body. She immediately flew on the ground as the blood got pulsed out of the wound. Chalky picked her bra and slashed it, revealing the purple lactinic tits of that girl. He put his mouth there and started to chew her boobs, puncturing marks all over them. She tried to escape. escape, but 3 other tentacles were holding her on place. Chalky put his penis off and proceeded to insert it in her vagina. It was very flabby because she lost her virginity at kindergarten. Tentacles got very upset. They wanted a virgin, not a used, pestilence-infected whore. But nonetheless, Chalky continued the penetration. With his hands, he pulled her labia majora while thrusting the penis. It was so flaccid, it could be pulled 50 centimeters. Okay, I'm sorry, we don't use the metric system in America. Hello. Even though Chalky was being controlled and was almost dead, he was liking. It's a shame he is now blind and can't see that foul body he is now ucking. The body he lusted for many years. Bebe never looked at him in the 1st grade. She just wanted to hang out with the grown-up motorcycle rebel leaders. A sportsman like him couldn't satisfy her. He straightened to smile and took advantage of the situation. Because of Chalky's evilness, the tentacles let him go. They could not control a strong, evil boy like him, so they let him in peace, raping Bebe. Chalky put his index fingers inside Bebe's nostrils and started to rotate them to collect some mucus. He flavored them and got more excited and started to thrust harder and harder until Bebe's eyeball got ejected from her skull. The pressure was too much. Chalky then ejaculated an insidious cum, full of venereal diseases inside Bebe. But that was not a problem for her. She had ads since the...
What?
Hold on. Some guy's like revving a motorcycle outside my house. I have no clue why.
They finally got tired of
the... Hear that?
They've come to listen to your story. Where the hell Satan's?
I'm honestly waiting to hear like screeching brakes and then a crash. No, okay.
Is the English bad in that Portal fanfiction?
Is there Portal? There's Portal. Someone check it out for me. Chalky, pressure too much. Chalky ejaculated in cities come. Doug was still shocked and went to see Patty's dead corpse. Her head was unrecognizable. Brains and veins and artery were hanging out. Amazingly, her heart was still pulsating. Doug thought, hey, if the heart is on, she is still alive. What if I declare my love to her? Doug thought a bit and said, Patty, even though you cannot hear her because your tympanum is at the school sailing, I must say that I love you. And he kisses her jaw passionately because the upper part of her mouth were nowhere to be found. He licked her black tongue. It was black because of the extreme heat, and it got roasted. Doug's didn't care about the horrible smell. That was the first time he was kissing the love of his life. However, he had to stop because blood was flowing from her esophagus and filling the jaw. That doesn't matter. The kiss had already happened. It's a shame her eyes were splattered all over the school courtyard, but Doug could imagine them while looking to her spinal cord coming out of her back. The tentacles hanging out of Doug's butt were still moving, doing what they wanted to. Mr. Bone, who the hell's Mr. Bone, was standing at the door trying to call the police from his cell phone, but the tentacles saw it. They grabbed him and proceeded to rip apart his ears, his eyes, his noses, and his mouth. Only a disfigured piece of bloody meat was left over his neck. He walked the school along completely oblivious at what was happening. At least the tentacles had the compassion to let his hair alone. What? Skeeter was still alive, and the dog went away at his innards. He got on 4, trying to drag his body to hid himself inside the school. But someone was there, looking. It was Roger Klotz. He saw Skeeter and approached. What's up, Skeeter? Are you hungry? Oh, I forgot. You have no stomach. Roger, save me, cried Skeeter, and tried to grab Roger's pants. Roger kicked Skeeter's face, breaking his jaw and shattering all of his teeth. Okay, now why does it always have to go to teeth? Seriously. Skeeter fell on his belly, completely useless. A pool of blood was forming underneath him, because his torso was all open. Roger pulled his clothes off, and a hard and enormous penis appeared. Roger's dick was green. It was veins, hairy, and disgusting. He never washed it. Roger bent, get on his knees, and ripped Skeeter's shorts, revealing a clean and black-green butt. It was full of candy and lollipop remains. What? It was full of candy and lollipop remains. Skeeter had an obsession with sweet, so he tried to have them all the time, even inside his anus. Because of this, a colony of ants were dwelling inside his bowels. The stinky smell was atrocious because dead bodies of insects got left there by the ants. Of course. Roger was so smudgy individual he didn't care. He put his penis inside Skeeter's rotten ass and started to fuck him viciously. The candy was a very bad lube because of its stickiness. Soon after the penetration, Roger's penis skin got bruised. The friction was heating it at dangerous levels, but he couldn't stop. His pleasure was maximum, and Skeeter was moaning like a dog in a puddle of vomit. Hey, you know what? My dog's... I don't know. Roger was so smudgy individual he didn't care. Wait, hold on, I read that right. Skeeter was trying to talk, but the broken jaw would not let him. His face got numb, and an acute pain was reaching his brain. It was like it was going to explode that minute. Jiz's nose started to bleed. His eyes got frenzy, and he vomited blood and guts on the ground. Roger looked and felt more excited, and thrusted harder and harder and harder, and then he cummed a black toxic cum inside Skeeter. His cum was so polluted, it started to burn Roger's own penis. And to aggravate the situation, no skin was left on his dong, because the skin got ripped from the flesh, and the muscles are visible on his penis. It is bleeding, and patches of muscle are starting to fall. It got tainted, and Roger will never use it again. But he will not need. The gangrene spreaded all over his pelvis. Blisters formed and burst, liberating fetid, unholy pus inside Skeeter corroded anus. They start to convulse, and they die. Chalky was still fucking BB. Her lacerated boobs were being consumed by vermin and parasites. Chalky, trying to control the girl, punched her in the belly so much her liver was teared. The contents of her cirrhosis-ridden liver flowed from her tits. She smoked a lot in the 4th grade, and now she is paying the consequences. Chalky got impotent, and his penis got flaccid. But he still tries to fuck her. But he is so tired, he can't even stand on his knees. How do you stand? He falls down on his back, and BB uses the opportunity. She reaches Chalky penis with her mouth and bites it off, leaving a bloody cavity full of chancery? She chewed the penis in her mouth and swallow, but that was an error. Tentacles infected it, and now she's bloating like a flash of blood balloon. Her nails got ejected and her fingers fell down. The extremities of her body are now decaying into a repulsive amorphous matter, which she inflates. Her volume got very big, and now the destroyed skin can't take it any longer. He explodes in a mess of bones, shit, disease, and cancer. While the serving boys and girls are being drilled by the tentacles, Doe can't wait anymore. He pulls his penis out of his pants and enters Patty's dead vaginal cavity. She is still virgin, so Doug's drill her hymen, liberating a strew of menstruation-fetid blood. Her vagina is tight, but his hard pull can go through it all. The rigor mortis is disrupting his pleasure a bit because her uterus is hard as a rock, and he keeps hitting her full forntal. But he continues. Nothing can stop him now. Doug tries to caress her skin, but it's so cold and vicious. Even without head, Doug loves that girl's and wants to show how much, but the rigid muscles are spoiling the moment. Doug then get up and find a knife and proceeds to rip the muscles from her body. So, she will get soft and savor-filled. One by one, Doug drag out the muscles and the bones too. In the end process, Patty is pure skin, blood, veins, and organs. Her
What the
heart is
hell?
still pounding. Doug grabs it and feels that this is the time. He rips of the aorta artery and blood starts to come out. Doug puts his penis inside Patty's heart through the aorta and starts to thrust it with much pleasure and lust. He never thought that to conquer the heart of a lady he had to put his dick inside it. But now Patty is his, and no one can break their love again. After a while, Doug feels it coming. The pleasure juice is now flowing inside his dick, and with great splash, pervade Patty's heart, sedimenting the newfound passion. Doug now is a complete man. He made his transition to the adult world, and everything is good. The end.
But wait,
Wow.
so basically, aliens implant deadly tentacles and shit inside of Doug.
No.
For some reason,
They
the
plant
tentacles.
tentacles inside of what's the guy's name?
Oh, what's his name?
Not Roger. Chalky. They implanted tentacles inside Chalky, and Chalky fucked
so Doug.
somebody.
Wait, who had the
And
laser
Natalie
penis
Portman was
again?
involved somehow. I have no clue.
Who had the
I
laser
have no clue
penis?
who the hell I am. I don't know who I am.
Someone got aroused by Patty, and all of a sudden, freaking laser shot out of his penis for some reason.
Freaking lasers! Laser beams! Oh! Okay, do we have
And
portal
then
porn?
one thing
Someone have
with-
portal porn?
Soak it
Was
in,
there portal porn?
like
I
being
thought there was portal
waterlogged
porn.
in a.
Wait, did somebody have portal porn? I want portal porn, damn it. What's with the ants?
If I knew more about Portal, I'd probably be able to come up with something.
Yes, it still is. Part of my French. I'm trying to find the right screen here.
Did I do? Oh, there's probably plenty. But it needs to be poorly written.
Yes, that's the truth. Okay, we read the night.
Well written, it seems awkward.
Okay. Now we're going to read House and the Last Cameron Wishes.
House?
Yes, because, I mean, after last week's House, is House say house, but house, not house say time paradox. Oh yes, house say house paradox. No bricks in house say house paradox. Say time paradox. Oh god. Okay, you know what? Hold on. Yep, hold on. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Hold on.
Surely the bar is raised on expanded universe fiction. Like, well, what is it about, basically? chocolate rain. Conversation's gone to games again. Chocolate rain.
Okay, we're now reading.
We need some Tays on
House and the
Day.
Last Cameron Wishes. House was
Last
buying a dog.
Cameron.
He lied dogs and furry animals. So he went to a pet shop. There he said to busboy, "Dear attendant, I want an animal to be my companion of lonely times." "Oh, you want it, won't you? I have perfect animal for you, my dear doctor." And the boy brought a dog to house. It was an Oit bull. A pit bull?
What?
Aren't they violent? No, dear house. Pot bulls are known for charity and behave among the best. House lied on the ground and started to scratch the back of the dog, to feel the hair of the dog, because he liked furs of the dog. Dogs have excellent hair, so House did caress the dog. The dog swung very happily, his tail slobbering spit of felicity. "Oh, doggy,
What?
my dear furred pity animal, I likes you. You shall move to me with my house, so we live together in peace." "So you chosen the dog, Mr. Dr. Hauser?" asked the selling man. "Yes, dear man, I will took it," said House, hugged strongly the pit bull. A fucking vampire Pomeranian? What the fuck? House put the dog tied to a leech, so he not escape the house solitude. "Oh my dog, doggy, what shall I call you yourself, dear fabulous sheep hunter?" The dog only tailed his tail. He looked around the hospital where House works to seek something to put his name on. "What, dog? You want to tell me something?" It's a cat. The dog was strongly well-willed, so he moved to a near pharmacy inside the hospital. He started to sniff, and he found a bottle of Vicodin. "Yes, wise dogs, I will call you Vicodin." Vicodin, the newly named Purbull, is happy. He loves his name. So House was walking along the hospital, sowing him to everyone. The nurses got wet. After some while, Cameron, the doctor with experience and House employee, came. "Oh, House, a dog, I love you." "You love me?" said House. "No, I love the dog." "Sorry," said House. Cameron rubbed the House back while he swung his tail. "This dog is very beautiful. What name of him?" "I is Vicodini." Cameron then coughed. "She is with cancer." "Are you all right, Cameron?" "No, I will die in a few hours." "I'm sorry for that." "Don't be. I hate you. You made me work here in my final days." "You need to save lives, Cayon. It's your duty as a responsible public officer." And Cameron spit on House's face. The dog didn't like it, so he barks and utters discrepancies. "Cameron, you must not offend your boss like that," says House, utterly sad because of Cameron malformation. Cameron then slapped House's face, and he retreated in the ground. "No, Cameron, don't mistreat me," cries the in pain House. "House, you are a fool. Don't you know that I love you?" Hoyce is tremendously surprised. How can that woman never opened her heart to him? He don't understand. It's strange. "House, come here. I will do something to you," says Camberon, very lustful with passionate desire. House entered the magnetic resonance room with his dog, following that utterlicious woman of Greek. House then asked the passion Cameron, "Cameron, why are you doing that? We must not involve ourselves in a relationship now. You are a dying, pitiful soul." "No, House. This is the last wish you must make to me. I always wanted you. Wish my desires now!" And Cameron punches Hoise's belly, and he falls on the ground crying in badly moist pain. Kind of sportage, if you will.
Badly what?
Moist pain. You know, think sportage. Oh, Cameron, sob, don't, screams, and cries tears of inglory house, looking to his new lead dog of despair. Vicodin, the molasses dog, can't stand this abuse. He thinks it a bit and decides to act. Vicodin jumps on Cameron's chest and throws her on the ground. She is obscene with fright, but the dog goes again to the attack. He jumps on her lied on the ground body and scratches her face. Disroots pieces of morbidly cancerous flesh. "No, dog! Can't kill Karen," utters House. But then the dog moves his mouth and starts, "House, I am your dog. I must defend your integrity." "Water? You talls Vicodinus?" mutters very superflied old House. Wow.
The Superfly House.
Yes, a magic dog, and I have packed to deal with you first in this life. But Vicodin, I thought you loved me." "I love you, Hauser, but it's time for you to pay the pacts you swear in the past." Cameron is on the ground, blood pouring from her varicose veins, and she just can't talk because her vocal cords are pulsating with black cancerous leash. She looks the house and will not him help, but her breasts are melting in a pool of shit and cocoa butter flesh. Of course.
What?
House, don't let the dog take you to hell," cries desperately Cameron, trying to save House's lives. "What?" House asks himself. "Why you want take me to hell, Vicodani?" The dog lower a bit the placid heart of canine skull of his, and mutters some vague superficial words. "Because, House, your soul got condemned. Your friends, your employees, your doctors under your rule, even Cuddy, all of them want you dead. They invoke Satan in a pact ritual, so Satana called me to take your soul to hell." So he's the original hell dog. He's Cerberus. I don't know, we'll call him Poochie. I don't know. And Vicodin weeps a tear of preparatory pilgrimage. How the hell did I read that? "No, Vicodin, even Chase wants me dead." "Yes, but they obliged him. He love you much, but the power of the group is willer and strongier than the force of individuals." So wait, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, and the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the one. That's what Spock taught us in Star Trek 2? Is that Star Trek 2? Or is that Star Trek 1? Wait, which one did Star Trek teach us the needs of the many outweighing the needs of few? I don't know, damn it. House looked Cameron obliterated on the ground and says, "You said you loved me, woman, but now you knife me in the bark." Cameron cries and curses the heavers. She just loves him much. Why she did that, she can't understand that. "House, my love, I guess we are all doomed in this life of prepucive bad habits." And Cameron dies from cancer. No! "Come on, House. Hell waits your arrival." And the dog picks House's under its jaw. House only looks at the sky and say, "My God, what a life of bad doings I've been doing," and House dies. The end. Wow. Okay.
Fucking dog.
Vicodin. I mean, Vicodin. The dog's name is Vicodin.
That's brilliant. I have to name a dog Vicodin.
Okay, does anyone have any more stories?
I named them Viagra.
Okay, nothing against
Hey,
you,
was she
Farvis.
melting
You look
up?
like you have rosacea almost as bad as I do.
Would you like to see some magic?
Seriously, I have like the rosacea really in my nose, so it almost looks like everyone goes, "Oh my God, you were in the sun, weren't you?" And I'm like, "No, it's rosacea, you stupid bastards." Hold down. I don't want Jay and Silent Bob Ustream. I'm freaking GitEmSteveDave. I own GitEmSteveDave.com. I also own TellEmSteveDave.com, which I will sell to them at a very fair price. Okay, no, seriously, I really need bad fan fiction.
Go forth, my minions and fans.
I really wish I had some,
Oh God, the snorks.
Say hello to the snorks. Say goodbye to the snorks. Something, something to be living under the sea. Say hello to the, say goodbye to the, say hello to the snorks. Oh crap, hold on, I scrolled over too far. Where's, okay, here's house. Okay, hold on, let me go to fanfiction.net.
What was it? What was that, the paradoxical one?
Why don't you read House fanfiction? Okay, if someone promises to find some good fanfiction, I'm gonna read House.
How long is that one? The house one?
It's very actually short. House by Hans von Hausel. House. One day, House walked into his house. It is good to have house, say House, as he walked into house. Suddenly, the door on house opened, and Time Paradox blew out. You cannot have house inside house, screamed Time Paradox, as a paradox many times. But it's house, say House. It is no more for house, say Time Paradox, and House disconnects from the floor and flies into Time Paradox. And no more house. But my house, say House, as a not house. But Time Paradox would not return house. I cannot return house without make a paradox, say Time Paradox. House was annoyed at this, and jumped into the Time Paradox to get back house. House, shout House. But there were no house inside Time Paradox. I have turned house to bricks, say Time Paradox, and Time Paradox closed, and House was stuck inside Time Paradox forever. The end.
What the hell?
How things Smurf. Okay. Okay, sorry, the English seems too well. See, English needs to be like the... Ooh, Hannah Montana fanfiction? I think I read that.
Wait a minute, is that the one where it's basically just softcore porn?
Oh, okay, Miley Cyrus fanfiction. That's perfect for Caroline.
We read some of that last week.
Did I read Erotic Lover Story? I don't think I read this one.
You did, I believe. It was Miley Cyrus or...
I did read it, but I just added it to my fanfiction.
I had to explain who Lily was to you.
Okay, hold on. At X Sweet. How do I spell Caroline's? How do I spell Dirty Britch's name? Is it 4 E's or 3?
3.
No one knows.
It's so hard to keep track of.
So hard. Like you wouldn't believe. Oi, the Glaven, oi.
Stop staring at me, you bastard.
There's a V. There's no B in GitEmSteveDave. Damn it. It's the glasses. That's what it is.
GitEmSteveDave. That's how they pronounce the V in Spanish with a B.
It's
What was it, an everlasting gobstopper?
Violet, you're turning violet, Violet!
You doctors are fucking awesome.
Crap, hold on. Okay.
I've
Please, for the love of Pete, follow this person on Twitter. Because she deserves it.
And in the wind
Okay,
can
so we have Hannah Montana, an erotic lover story.
Oh, nice and chubby baby.
Oh, Glavin! Ew. Do you like beans? Do you like George Wendt? Would you like to see a bean in a movie starring George Wendt? Lily opened the front door to her best friend's house without knocking. Hey, I decided to come over. Lily received no answer. Instead, she heard strange noises coming from Miley's bedroom. Rom. Lily walked towards Miley's bedroom. Before opening the door, she heard moans of pleasure. Oh, Rick, deeper, please, I'm begging. You got it, babe, said a male voice. Following that was a louder moan. Lily became hot. Miley's having sex in there. She loves it. I wish I can have an orgasm like that. What does it say she's having an orgasm? I don't know. Lily decided to walk on, pretending that she never heard them. She opened the door with half hopes that they would invite her to join. Miley? She asked. Miley's eyes widened at the sight of the door opening. Lily! She yelled. Oh, shit, said... Oh, shit! Oh, shit, said the boy. He rolled over off the side of the bed to hide. Miley covered herself with her bedsheet. Miley, I just decided to come in without knocking. What are you doing? Lily asked, playing dumb. Oh, nothing. Just, masturbating, that's all. 'Cause, you know, masturbating's less embarrassing than having sex. Miley said. Lily and Miley talked freely about masturbation. Of course they did. Why wouldn't they? Really? I thought I heard another voice, Lily said. Oh, no. Just me, screaming at my own pleasure. Oh, sorry. Okay. Just me screaming at my own pleasure. Miley smiled nervously. Miley, quit. I know there's a guy in here. Lily put her hands on her hips. When she dip, you dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hips. When you dip, I dip, we dip. Oh. Okay, I guess I'm the only one that's like, fine. You caught me. Am I the only one who knows that song? Fine, you caught me, Rick. Miley called to the boy that was on the floor. He stood up. He wasn't erect anymore because of the scare. He said, I barely know her. I just fucked her, that's all. I'm going to go home now. Rick, relax. It's not like she's my mother or anything, but before Miley said this, he jumped out of her bedroom window and ran off while struggling to put on his pants. Why were you hiding from me? Lily sat down on the bed. Miley wasn't covering her breasts anymore with the sheet. Uh-oh. No reason, said Miley. Ah! Pinched her nipple. She was still hot. She wished Rick stayed. Miley, you never hide anything from me. Lily's eyes trailed off towards Miley's erect nipples. It's my personal business, said Miley in defense. Miley noticed that Lily was staring, but she let her. I wish he didn't run off. I'm only half finished. I never came. He almost did. That sucks. I guess the moment's over, Lily said, watching Miley's wandering hand. It disappeared under the sheet. Through the sheet, Miley could see the outline of the hand. It moved slowly in circles. Miley looked at Lily. Get undressed! Now! Lily didn't think for a second. I'm sorry. Hold me! Lily didn't think for a second. She was hot from hearing the two earlier. Miley took off the sheet to reveal her hot body. She posed in a seductive style and ran circles with her finer tip around her left nipple. Lily smiled and got undressed. When she was naked, she climbed on the bed towards Miley and kissed her slowly. Lily's tongue demanded entrance. Once gained, Lily and Miley wrestled with their tongues. Lily lifted her hand and squeezed Miley's right breast. Miley moaned softly. Lily ran kisses from Miley's mouth down her chin, down her neck as she massaged Miley's soft breast. Miley lifted her hand and ran it through Lily's hair. Soon, Lily moved towards Miley's vagina. She licked from Miley's butthole to the top of Miley's sweet, wet pussy lips. Miley moaned, loudly breathing deeply. Lily licked Miley's clit. She pushed down and licked fast on the spot. Miley's legs shivered a little from the satisfaction. "Oh, Lily, don't stop!" Lily licked more as she inserted 2 fingers into Miley. Lily bent her fingers and felt around Miley's insides. She detected a cancerous... Miley was breathing heavily and faster, trying to catch her breath. She rubbed her own breast. "Lily, make me come!" Miley demanded. Lily took her hand that she was fingering Miley with and rubbed Miley's clit with it fast along with licking it. Miley was gasping for air. "Oh, Lily! Oh, fuck! Oh!" Miley had one hand on the headboard and another running through her hair. Her back lifted up with excitement. "Lily, oh please, don't stop, don't... Oh!" Miley was about to climax. Lily lifted her head to look at Miley's face. She smiled. Miley smiled back. Miley's back arched before her climax. She screamed! Miley's cum squirted onto Lily's face and hands. Lily licked her fingers and face. "You're delicious!" "You're delicious," Lily said seductively. Well, now it's your turn." Miley smiled and crawled breathless to the other side of the bed and opened her nightstand drawer. She pulled out a 7-inch vibrator, which is a lot better than a 6-inch vibrator. Let me tell you what. She crawled back to Lily and kissed her. "Lie down and let me do everything." "Oh, I wish." Miley pushed Lily down and turned on the vibrator. She wrapped her lips around it and pulled it out. She ran it from Lily's belly button down to right above Lily's vagina. Miley rubbed Lily's thighs with her hands. How could she rub with her hands? Well, we'd have to have, I don't know. Before toffing the vibrator to any sensitive areas. Miley finally touched Lily's opening ever so slightly. Lily's eyes closed at that short amount of please. Finally, Miley circled on the edge of the sensitive lips of Lily. Lily moaned and rubbed her breast. Miley slowly entered Lily with a vibrator. She circled it around of her to touch every wall. Lily moaned loudly. "Oh, Miley,
touch every what?
Faster, please!" Miley did as she was told. She slid the toy in and out of Lily faster. She pulled it in as deep as she could. Lily was moaning loudly. She clenched the bedsheets in her hands and sucked on the pointer finger of the other. Miley rubbed Lily's clit with a free hand as she forced the vibrator in and out faster and faster. "Miley, please, don't stop. Oh, I love this." Lily was finally receiving the orgasms that Miley was going to earlier from Rick.
What?
"Oh, fuck me, deeper." Lily helped Miley rub her clit. She rubbed it in fast circles. Clockwise, not counterclockwise. Miley took advantage of Lily doing this job for her by rubbing her own. Miley tried to push the plaything into Lily as far as it could. She pushed over and over. A fast rhythm was created, and with every thrust, Lily's breast would bounce, and she had a slight screech. Wait, screech from Saved by the Bell? Like Mr. Bell? That's Shaggy. "Yes, right there, right there. That's the spot, that's the spot. Oh my God!" Lily was close to her complete orgasm, as opposed to her partial orgasm. Miley continued what she was doing. Soon Lily came and screamed. Miley pulled out the vibrator, and Lily squirted all over Miley's face and chest. Lily was gasping for air as Millie licked all of Lily's tasty cum off her chest. Lily licked off what Miley... How do you lick something off your own chest?
Extra long.
Oh my God, there's a chapter 2? Okay, you know what? I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, you know, I really wish Dirty Purchase was here because I have no clue about Miley Cyrus fiction. So it's really tough to, like, figure out who's who. Oh, hey!
I know about it.
Okay, who's Jackson?
Jackson, I think it's her best friend that's a guy.
Okay, it's a...
Oh no, her brother, yeah, it's her brother. Tawny's right, it's her brother.
What's your brother?
The best friend,
Ooh.
what's the best friend? Oliver's the best friend.
Wait, wasn't Oliver the...
Like, Lily, Miley, and Oliver are all, like, best friends.
Cousin Oliver is the guy who got raped and killed by the zombie gang in the RoboCop fiction. He's also the cousin from... Remember Oliver got killed in Oliver Building? And that's where RoboCop had to jump out of or Batman had to jump out of to save the woman who was falling from the gargoyles, and RoboCop saw him. That's why they had to fuck. So I can't be the only one who remembers this. Okay. Hey, Miles, I'm home, called a voice from the living room. It was Jackson. He came home early. Fortunately, he was alone. Miley and Jackson's father was out of town for the week. I have an idea, Miley whispered to Lily. Jason walked into... His name is Jason Jackson? Ew. Jason walked into Miley's room. Miley? Suddenly, he felt a pair of breasts press against his back. You know how many times it's happened to me and how upset I was? A pair of arms wrapped around his body and felt up and down from his chest to his crotch. Miley walked out of her Hannah Montana closet. She has a Hannah Montana closet. So like 2 different closets. With sexy black lingerie and 4...
Yeah, it's like behind her other closet.
Does she wear Mary Janes in it? Are they shiny Mary Janes? Hey, Jackson, Miley said seductively. Jackson was disgusted with himself for starting to get an erection by the sight of his baby sister. But who was the girl behind him? He turned around. It was Lily. She was wearing lacy blue panties and no bra. She, too, had about 4-inch, maybe 5, heels. At the sight of Lily's round, close-to-perfect breast, his penis grew harder. Come on, Jackson, join us, Lily said as she placed her hand on his chest delicately. She kissed him on the cheek and walked over to Miley. She and Miley wrapped their arms around each other's waist and kissed slowly but passionately. They kept their lips far enough apart, but still touching, just so then Jackson could see their tongues attacking one another. Jackson noted their breasts rubbing against each other. Miley and Lily broke away, smiled at Jackson. So, Miley said, are you in or out? Jackson thought about it for a second, and then decided he wanted it in. He walked over to the 2 girls and kissed Lily as he took off Miley's bra. He moved the girls so they were sitting on the bed. He took off his clothes and shoes. His erection was at its fullest. Miley and Lily smiled at its glory. Miley and Lily took off their panties and lay on the bed. Jackson... Oh, crap. I'm leaking here. Hold on. Jackson straddled over Miley up near her chest. He placed his cock in between her breasts and ordered her to squeeze her breasts together. He moved forward and back, stroking his dick with Miley's luscious breasts. Lily got down by Miley's vagina and licked it intensely. Miley moaned as she was being eaten out. She waited patiently for her brother's cum to squirt on her face and in her mouth. Jackson had just gotten back from Rico's. Who the hell's Rico? I don't know. And Miley knew that when he was there, he would always get a strawberry banana smoothie. And fruit-like food equals tasty cum. At least from her experience. Jackson moaned with every thrust in between the boobs. He leaned down and kissed Miley. She moaned in his mouth as Lily inserted 4 fingers into her. 4 fingers? What the fuck? How loose is she? More, Lily. Okay, how many more fingers than 4 can you get? Lily decided to try to insert her whole fist. Uh-oh. Miley almost screamed at that moment. Lily moved her fist inside Miley, exploring. She moved fast. Miley's opening was burning from pain, but it was so arousing to her. She loved it. With her moans of pleasure, Jackson was close to his climax. Oh, now you're going to swallow it. Swallow it all. Jackson removed his dick from Miley's breasts, and he stroked it fast. He squeezed it as he moved up and down. Finally, he came all over Miley's face. Miley licked what she could. It was delicious. She yearned for more. Jackson looked at her eye and say her desire. There's plenty more where that came from. He stoked his dick fast while squeezing it. Miley tried to help him with one of her hands. He came again, this time into Miley's mouth. She swallowed it and licked the remainder that was on the head of Jackson's penis. Crap, hold on, I lost my space, hold on. Okay, Jackson moved towards where Lily was pleasuring Miley. He stroked his penis at the sight of Miley's tight pussy wrapping around Lily's wrist. Okay. Lily, oh, don't stop, Miley said. More. Ah, go. That's it. That's fast. No, faster. Lily was at her limit of speed. She took her free hand and rubbed Jackson's dick to get some cum herself. He came on Lily's face and arm and partly on Miley's vagina. Miley was screaming, "Oh God, keep going!" Lily felt juices on her hand as Miley screamed. Lily kept her hand in there until all of Miley's juices were out, formed this moment of pleasure. Lily pulled her hand out of Miley and licked it clean. Jackson did not waste time. He grabbed Lily and inserted his throbbing cock into Lily as she gasped. Miley sat by herself and used the vibrator. Her heels helped keep his pelvis up, so it was easier to masturbate. She threw her head back and moaned. Jackson, go deeper, harder, faster, harder, faster, stronger, better, makes us harder, better, worker, begged Lily. Jackson grabbed Lily's waist and pushed her onto him. Her legs were up on his shoulders. She stared at Jackson with a fierce look. Her eyes said, "Fuck me hard." Jackson tried to put his cock in all of the way, but it was too big for Lily. "Oh my God, it's so big. Oh, go deep with that. Go as far as you can. It's so fucking big," Lily said with her teeth gritting with pleasurable pain. "You want me to go all the way in?" "Duh, you stupid bastards. What the fuck I said? Yes, go deep," Lily said. Jackson pushed in farther, and Lily let out a scream. "Oh, it's so fucking big. Go deeper." He tried to go further. "Oh, fuck me. Oh, please." Her voice was almost hoarse. "Jackson, you're so fucking sexy. Your cock is so fucking huge." She screamed on the word huge as Jackson pushed deeper. Jackson likes screamers, and he likes swearing and dirty talk. Lily was being perfect right now. Miley just listened to Lily's screams and placed herself in her place. She was breathing heavily and fast. "Oh, fuck," Miley would say. She squeezed her breast as she shoved the vibrator into herself. "Jackson, I'm gonna come. I love you, cock. More." Jackson was about to
Wait a
come
minute,
also.
is this...
Huh?
Is this the guard from Super Jail?
Sooner than Lily. Lily refused to let him pull out. She held him with her legs. "Please, Lily, I don't want to get you pregnant. Let me pull out," Jason begged. "No, I want you in me. Oh, fuck." Jackson couldn't hold it back. He had to. Finally, he came inside of Lily. Soon after, she came also. He pulled himself out, because with all the sensation, she let go. Her cum spewed out in a jet stream. Miley was about to come until Jackson took over. He made her take out the vibrator, and he pushed himself into her. She screamed at his hugeness. He pushed as far as he could. Miley was being pushed with each force. She screamed as she came. He pulled out and stroked himself and let both Miley and Lily have the last taste of his cum. He and both girls were satisfied. He softened and lay on the soaked bed. Miley and Lily rubbed his chest slowly. Miley had one leg over his right, and he could feel her warm, wet pussy on his outer thigh. If he wasn't so exhausted, he'd probably have become hard again. Lily propped herself on her elbow and kissed Jackson, slowly playing with his tongue. At around 6, Lily took a shower and got dressed to go home. She almost wore the shoes home because she had them on during the most amazing sex she ever had. Miley and Jackson sat there for a while. Why haven't we ever tried that? Asked Miley. I'm not sure. Maybe it was the fact we're related, Jackson said as he sucked tenderly on Miley's right nipple. She moaned in pleasure. Have you ever had a threesome before? Or was this your first time? Asked Jackson. Oh, I've done this before, but not with a girl. Usually it was with more than one guy. 'Cause I'm a slutty girl. My name's Miley Cyrus. It's Miley. One time I remember I couldn't even remember the number of cocks that were spraying on me, Miley laughed. What do you mean by that, Jackson? Jackson inquired. It was the basketball team from It's Not Another Teen Movie. A few told me to meet them in the locker room to do stuff, and they surprised me with the whole team. They took turns fucking me. All at once, I would be sucking on a dick, having one in my pussy and one in my ass. The rest of the team would masturbate over me and cover me in their cum. Once in a while, someone would be sucking my nipples. Jackson couldn't even imagine what position Miley was in for all of that. After about an hour, Jackson covering Miley with kisses, he decided to get pee and make dinner even though it was about 8 at night. Wow, that was bad. Okay, it's tough, alright, to grapple the mechanics of this. You have to go deeper. Any newer stories? Aww.
You see the hats? I am Mrs. Nesbit.
Nesbit, was that from one of the monkeys? Because if I remember
That's from
correctly,
Toy Story.
one of the monkeys' mothers is the one who created Whiteout. Post-it notes. Whiteout. One of the mothers of the person who was the monkeys invented Whiteout.
I learn something every day.
I can't remember who. My name's Miley. Mike Nesmith. There we go. Ugh.